Sorry, I was just waiting. I thought I had to wait. Okay, Jai. Hi, Krishna. Welcome, everyone, to the online session on this is Bhakti Center, Bella Vista, virtual extension of Shri Radha Gopinath. So yes, right now we are in a mood of lockdown. Summer was almost here. It's almost here. Now, today the clouds are out, but spring is here. So we are all, this Vasantakale, Samprapte, Kaga, Kaga, Pika, Pika. So going to be the nightingales singing for Krishna. So we will start with a nice bhajan. It's called Jai Radha Madhava. Because this is online, I will sing. You all sing from your side, right? Usually the way we sing is I'll say one line and then everyone else responds. But because this is online, that might be a little difficult. That's not going to be so easy. So instead, I will just do the bhajan, and you all, you can be on your side. You either listen, if you know the bhajan, you can, sing. All right. So this is called Jai Radha Madhava, and the purpose of this is to set the mood of Vrindavan. Right. This song is written by Bhakti Vinod Swami, and it is in Bengali. Right. Oh, of course, sounds Sanskritish. Like when the first time when I read it, I thought it was Sanskrit, but later on I realized it's actually in Bengali. But yeah, all right.
Cool. Thank you, Prabhu.
Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Girivarath, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhattavrinda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vashadi Bhattavrinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Bhaktaravind ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, welcome everybody to this discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhu had said that you have all started this journey on this wondrous book, Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So, this is Canto 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Most of us remember this picture of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So, this is the new print. So, they have put a new cover, but it's the same old book. Nothing has changed. So, we are in this journey of Srimad Bhagavatam, and this book is considered very melodious. It is explained that Veda Vyas, who is the literary incarnation of Krishna, he actually wrote many books. This is not the only book he wrote. He wrote many books. So the first thing is to understand is when it comes to the Vedic knowledge, books are written for everybody. Right? So this, sometimes we think the books are written only for specific set. Like for example, you may see sometimes, somebody may say, oh, this book is for people who have faith. But actually, when you look at the Vedas, the knowledge of the Vedas, they are for people, even those who do not have faith. When you look at the Sat Darshana or the 6 philosophies of school, you will notice most of them are, at least the top 3, are considered very materialistic. They're only interested in understanding the material world, because they're saying, I don't want to discuss about God. I want to discuss about where we are, how do we resolve this problem, right? So our dear Vyasdev wrote many such books. So he wrote the Shrutis. The Shrutis are all the Vedas, right? And it is explained that there is something close to 4,000 of them. Of course, now very few scripts are left. Very few of those books have been left. But our acharyas have kept copies of some of them. And then it is explained that from the Shrutis, after Vedavyas wrote the Shrutis and then he wrote the Puranas, he was still feeling a little incomplete. He was thinking, I haven't given people the sum total. I have given them all the knowledge. Like I have told them about math, science, English, social science, material world, material manifestation, and about spirituality as well. But I haven't given them, the core. So then he thought, let me build Vedanta Sutra. So from Vedanta Sutra, he took all that knowledge and he put it into a book called Vedanta Sutra. Different people call it different things. Some call it Vedanta Sutra, some call it Brahma Sutra, some call it Uttara Mimamsa. So, people have different names, but basically it's the Vedanta Sutra. And with this Vedanta Sutra, once having got this, he still felt incomplete. He was thinking that I have given all these aphorisms, but how do people apply this knowledge? So this is the interesting part, right? The question becomes, how do you actually, apply knowledge? And this is something as devotees, we people will endeavor to understand how to apply knowledge, right? And that is the purpose of this conversation, discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. And so in this applying of knowledge, right, he decides to write Mahabharata. And it is very nicely explained that in Mahabharata, he has written everything he has written in the other books. So Mahabharata becomes a practical implementation of all of that knowledge, right? And so with this Mahabharata, he says, I have written everything which are in the other Vedas plus more. That's the interesting part, plus more. So that's why Mahabharata becomes the practical implementation. And Mahabharata is called Itihasa. And Itihasa means it's a chronological representation of our history, right? It is Itihasa, it is history book. And it is explaining how this, Vedic knowledge must be applied. Okay, in its best form. This is the key word. In its best form, how should this Vedic knowledge be applied? Yes. So now you have Mahabharata. Still, he was unsatisfied. Still, after doing all of this, he's still unsatisfied. He said, I'm not feeling complete. And then finally, he meets, Narad Muni. Narad Muni tells him, yes, that is because you have given all this knowledge, but you are not telling people how to get out of the material. Right? And this is something interesting. You can practically see this right now. Each and every one of us, I'm guessing all of us are in New South Wales. That's my guess, or at least in Australia. Okay, let's maybe make it simpler. We are all in Australia and we are in some form of lockdown. Now, the interesting thing is it's very easy to make a lockdown, like to call a snap lockdown. Okay, everybody from midnight tonight, no one goes up. All right, it's easy to make a snap lockdown. It's very hard to open up. And the government is trying to figure out how to open up. See, I don't know if you can catch this. So we are practically living this. So it's very easy to come into the material world and be locked into this material world. It's very hard to get out. So Narad Muni is telling Vyasa that you have given people so much knowledge that they will stay in the material world. How do you get them out? With that mood and representation, Vyasadeva then compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So this becomes the final Purana that he actually writes. This becomes the final, the conclusion, the conclusive verse, right? Srimad Bhagavatam. And this Srimad Bhagavatam is considered, one second, the kids are in the house. Sorry, family troubles. Kid just woke up. She's screaming. Maybe I'll avoid doing 8 o'clock next time. anyway, all good. And so this Amala Purana or Srimad Bhagavatam, right, is then written to give us that nectar, that conclusion of Vyasadev's full understanding of saying, when you really talk about knowledge, you want to get to the very best. Like, if you see the way this whole lockdown began, right? If you think of the whole journey, right? We first say, oh, there is a virus. Then we say, we should stop travel. Then we're like, we should do a lockdown. Then we're like, we should wear masks. Then, oh, no, we should, sanitize our hands. We should wash our hands. And like that, you'll go all the numbers. Finally, the end conclusion is everyone get a vaccine. Right? So you're taken through a slow journey and finally you concluded everyone take a vaccine. And the reason why I'm presenting this to you is, whenever there is trouble, we go through this journey where we have this vast knowledge, but then we try to fine tune it into, well, here is a conclusive answer, right? So this is general. This is true for any knowledge, any department of knowledge. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So this becomes a conclusion. So that's why it is told, Nigama Kalpataro Galitam Phalam, that this is a fruit and this fruit is very sweet, right? And it is very easy to digest. So now we have explained what is Srimad Bhagavatam. So the first canto, think of first canto as setting the scene, and you will see this mood even in Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita sets the scene. So similarly here, first canto sets the scene, right? And in setting the scene, first canto has some interesting aspects to it, that in first canto, you will only see one layer of conversation. So the one layer being, you will see a conversation between Suta Goswami and the rishis in Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi. So these sages have now come together. Now this is something interesting for us, being in a lockdown, right? Whenever a dire strait comes, you put the intelligent people forward. So you will notice that all the politicians, even the crazy ones, Donald Trump, he put the scientist forward, right? Mr. Fauci, Dr. Fauci, right? Even the crazy ones, they're like, okay, we're in a dangerous state. We should put someone knowledgeable in front. And the reason why I point this out is that this mood is true even in the Vedic time, that whenever there was trouble, they would call the knowledgeable people. So here in a beautiful place called Naimisharanya, right? All the sages arrive and they say, we will do 1,000 years sacrifice. And in these thousands, and I mean, more than thousands, some people say 10,000 years, right? It's a long term, basically a lot of years of sacrifice. And in this sacrifice, we will try to figure out how to solve this problem of Kali Yuga. Right? So the knowledgeable people come together. And then they choose Suta Goswami and they say, my dear Suta Goswami, please answer our questions. Now, the interesting thing is in Naimisharanya, a lot of things are discussed. All the 18 Puranas are discussed. So there are 18 Puranas, right? 18 thematic books. Puranas are thematic books. Just like Mahabharata is an Itihasa, it's a history book. Puranas are thematic books. So there are 18 thematic books, right? And they are all discussed with conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. Right, so this we have to understand that it's not like they only discuss Bhagavatam. They discussed all, but they concluded with Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And so this in Naimisharanya, this yagya is going on, and all of these rishis are there, and all the knowledgeable people come together, right? Now this is something interesting. My dad told me this, and I found it very amazing. That by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, he says, someplace in this material world, someone is discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Someplace in this material world, in this earth, somebody somewhere is discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, having doubts, writing notes. There is intense discussion. So my dad, why he pointed that out is by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by his mercy, everyone is continuing this yagya of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is amazing. Like right now, there are how much? Like, maybe 15 of us or 10 of us, right? We are all together. We are doing that yagya. We are doing that yagya of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the beauty. Isn't that amazing? That you are all participating in this most wonderful and wondrous Srimad Bhagavatam yagya. So you are also a part of Naimisharanya. In Middle East, in Bahrain, we had our Namahata, and our Namahata was called Naimisharanya. We had to name it something, so we named it Naimisharanya because we were thinking, okay, everyone here is studying Bhagavatam, so this is Naimisharanya. So here also, this is Naimisharanya. You're all discussing Bhagavatam, right? So this is Canto 1, and this is the mood in which we will observe Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are all sages. We are all knowledgeable people. Now you may say, I don't know anything. Don't worry. The very fact that you were able to press a button in Zoom and able to log in means you have knowledge. Now, whether you have spiritual knowledge, that we can discuss. But we have knowledge. So we have the ability that if I do something, there is a result. That basic construct is understood. That is knowledge. So this is Bhagavad Gita, starts with the basic knowledge, right? So we will begin by doing this wondrous prayer called Mangal Charan. So Mangal Charan creates auspiciousness, right? And why do we create auspiciousness? Is because it is explained the material world is Dukkhalaya. Dukkhalaya means it is inauspicious. Right now, because of lockdown, we are all feeling the inauspiciousness, right? We are all feeling it. But 2 years ago, in 2018, life was beautiful. 2019, life was beautiful, right? But people were getting bombed even then in Afghanistan. Now they're thinking, oh no, Taliban has come. So it's a big problem in Afghanistan. People were getting killed before also. So this idea that when we are having a good time, we are thinking the world is beautiful, that is not the case. Right? So we have to cause auspiciousness within this material world whenever we come together. So this is Mangal Charan. It causes auspiciousness. So I will say it, and you can all listen. If some of you know, then you can all repeat from your side. All right? Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagvat Sevayat Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtikim Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Jai. So today we will be discussing verse 9 of Canto 1, chapter 1. So we are in the 1.1. So this is the 101 sessions, right? So I'll just share my screen so we can, go through the verse. Let me just get it up. Okay, here you go. Share. All right. So we will do 1.1.9. So I will repeat the shloka 3 times so you can all listen. And then I don't know, maybe I'll check with Shubh Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, does everyone else repeat, or what's the process? Do other people also say shlokas, or what's the process?
Yeah, we normally do that. So
Okay, good. So I will say 3 times and then everyone can say, right? Okay, good. Tatra tatranjashayushman bhavata yad vinishchitam pumsame kantatha shreyas tanna samshitum arhasi. Tatra tatranjashayushman bhavata yad vinishchitam pumsam ekantatha shreyas tanna samshitum arhasi. Tatra tatranjashayushman bhavata yad vinishchitam pumsam ekantatha shreyas tanna samshitum arhasi. So if anybody would like to say the shloka, go for it.
Tatra tatrajasayushman bhavata yadvinishchitam pumsam ekantata shreyas stannam shansintumarhasi.
Anyone else would like to do? Try their best in Sanskrit.
Arvindari Mataji, can you try? Okay. Anita Mataji, you can try?
Okay, I'll try. Prabhu. Tatra Tatraanjasa Yushman Bhavata Yadvichinshitam Pumsam Ekantata Shreyas Tannaha Samsittum Arhasi.
Right. So thank you all for attempting to read the shloka. It's always good to read a shloka so that you also get the tongue practice in saying Sanskrit. So now we'll do the synonyms. Tatra, thereof. Tatra, thereof. Anjasha, made easy. Ayushman, blessed with a long duration of life. Bhavata, by your good self. Yad, whatever. Vinishchitam, a certain. Pumsam, for the people in general. Ekantaha, absolutely. Shreyaha, ultimate good. Tat, that. Naha, to us. Samshitum, to explain. Arhasi, deserve. Translation proposed by His Divine Grace, Abhay Chanarvind, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Please, therefore, being blessed with many years, explain to us in an easily understandable way what you have ascertained to be the absolute and ultimate good for the people in general. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita, worship of the Acharya is recommended. The Acharyas and Goswamis are always absorbed in thought of the well-being of the general public, especially their spiritual well-being. Spiritual well-being is automatically followed by material well-being. The Acharyas therefore give directions in spiritual well-being for people in general. Foreseeing the incompetence of the people in this age of Kali, or the iron age of quarrel, the sages requested that Suta Goswami give a summary of all revealed scriptures, because the people of this age are condemned in every respect. The sages therefore inquired of the absolute good, which is the ultimate good for the people. Condemned state of affairs of the people of this age is described as follows. So in the next verse, this will be described. What is the condemned state? So we will come to that. So first we will discuss this verse, right? And we will see some, what we will do is we'll try to go through each of the, the way the Sanskrit is presented, the way Srila Prabhupada translates it, right? And the purport is very beautiful. So we will also try to delve into the purport. So it's Tatra Tatran Jasha Yushman. He's saying that, therefore, right? Now you may think that why is there two Tatra Tatra? Because there are a lot of sages, they are all singing, right? They are all glorifying, right? So all the sages want this. So that's why Tatra Tatra, right? He says Anjasha. Anjasha means to make something easy, right? And one thing here you have to understand is what makes something easy. So first thing is what makes something easy. Srila Prabhupada says this. He says the way you make something easy is you take it for what it is. You don't try to read between the lines. You take it for what it is. That's what makes it easy. Srila Prabhupada says this because he explains that many times people take Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and they try to remove Krishna from it. They say, let us remove Krishna from it. Even when people are listening and reading Mahabharata, even when they listen to Mahabharata itself, they try to take Krishna out of this. They try to take Krishna out of the equation of the conversation. Because for them, this material world is what they are interested in. But Srila Prabhupada says that if someone wants to take something easily, anjasha, easily, then one must take it for what it is. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, he came up with that apt title, right? Bhagavad Gita as it is. And he doesn't try to mince around the words of Bhagavad Gita. He's saying Krishna is saying this. Krishna is supreme. This is the conclusion. Everybody knows in the book, right? So here's something interesting. There are, in all of the Vedas that we have, right, the Vedic books, there are two books that have the word Bhagavat in the title of the book. Bhagavad Gita has the word Bhagavan, and then Bhagavatam has the word Bhagavan. And the reason why I'm saying this is, these are the two big books. Whenever someone says, I'm searching for God, which Vedic book should I read? You can say that, well, the book with the title Bhagavan should be a good start. If you're looking for God, the book has it's in the title. It's in the name of the book. It's in the title of the book. And so these two books, they are heavily involved in discussing about Krishna. The conclusion of both of these books in Bhagavad Gita, it is Yatra Yoga Ishvara Krishna. He says that whichever yoga you are following, the Ishvara is Krishna. That is, he is the Ishvara. It doesn't matter whether you're directly doing it, indirectly doing it, doesn't matter. The Ishvara is, he is Yogeshwara, Krishna. Right? So this is the conclusion. And then in Bhagavatam, Nama Sankirtanam Yasya, Sarva Papa Pranasham. Pramano Dukkha Samanas Tam Namami Hari Priyam. He says that please do Sankirtan of Lord Hari. So that is the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So both, these are the last shlokas of both the books. And they both are saying that please, please, please listen to Bhagavad Gita. I mean, when I say listen to Bhagavad, listen to the Shastras that Krishna is the Supreme. Right? And so this is something for us to ascertain. That when something is anjasha, when something is easy, it must be taken for what is written. Right? And sometimes we may find what is written difficult. How can Krishna be supreme? I am. I am supreme, not Krishna. We may find it hard, right, to accept that. But we should take the book for what it is. Right? So the sages there in Naimisharanya, it is their desire to now listen very easily to the presentation. So first, this is one point we take away, that their request is to make this presentation easy. So it means we take it for what it is. Remember, they have all been sitting in this Naimisharanya and they have been listening to all the Puranas. It's not like they have only been listening to Bhagavatam, to all the Puranas. And now they are asking, my dear Suta Goswami, please make it easy. Please make it anjasha. And why? Because you are blessed with a long duration. And who blessed Suta Goswami with a long duration? Lord Balaram himself. Lord Balaram himself, he says, you are now blessed, right? Because initially Roma Harshana Suta was blessed. We know that story. And then he was speaking and then he disrespected Lord Balaram. Then Lord Balaram kills him and the sages are, disturbed. They're saying, my dear Lord Balaram, we started this big yagya and, Roma Harshana is dead. What do we do now? How do we proceed? And so then Lord Balaram says, okay, let his son take his position. And his son is qualified. So Suta Goswami is actually blessed by none other than Lord Balaram himself. So his Ayushmana, meaning his blessed long life, right, has complete blessings of the Adi Guru, Lord Balaram, who's Nityananda himself, right? He is the original Guru. So he's blessing. Yes, I give you that long life so you can present this philosophy. In Ishopanishad, there is an inspiration given to all of us that if we live in a way, if we live in a manner, right, by which we are always dealing with others and with ourselves correctly, not just others, right, but with ourselves also correctly, right? In this way, one can live for hundreds of years. Now, one may look at that and say, what do you mean one can live for hundreds of years? People nowadays, average age is, 75, that's 65, 75, that's the average age. So the idea here being of when you are living for 100 years means that you take every moment, right? That every moment is very glorious. So that is what it means to live for 100 years, right? Sometimes we are thinking living for 100 years means that, oh yes, now I'm living for 100 years. I'm going to go back to the bed, snuggle up. It's a cloudy day, snuggle up in bed, have my, hot soup, and I will just live my life. No, that is not living for 100 years, right? That is wasting. That is not living. That is wasting for 100 years. Average person today, looks at his phone for 5 to 6 hours. Average usage. Right? Average usage. You may be thinking, I don't look for 5 to 6 hours. Yes, you do. Across the day, you do. Before going to sleep, how many people look at their phone? The moment you get up, how many people look at their phone? This is life. Right? This is us. This is how we are. Right? So we are, in this mood that we are wasting our life. All of us, right? We are wasting our life. So this idea of long duration is of no benefit for us. Nowadays, they're saying that with the help of medical treatment, you can live up to 80. Yes. And what are you doing for 80 years of your life? Consumerism, Amazon. Imagine you live for 80 years. Just imagine. Just for a moment, think right now. I am going to live till 80. What are you going to do till 80? Keep going on the Amazon app and the eBay app? Is that it? And just, collect this, purchase. Collect this, put something in the cart, the checkout cart. Is this life? Is this what we are going to do for 80 years of our life? Consumerism? No. If you want to consume something, consume Bhagavatam, because this is the fruit. Everything else is nonsense. It's just complete, unadulterated nonsense. Right? So this is what Ayushmana is. Ayushmana means you being blessed for a long life because you can benefit society. Not that you've been blessed with a long life, now you can relax. I got a long life. So this first mood is there that the rishis, they are glorifying Suta Goswami and saying that A, please you make it easy. And B, that you have a very long life. You have a very long life. So you please benefit everyone. See, this is encouragement, right? How many people would come to you and say that, hey, you are young, you can benefit society. No, he says, you are young, let's party. Isn't it? You are young, let's party. Yes. Yes, this is why I'm young. Otherwise, my youth will go. Then what will I do? So, no, here is saying, you have long life. Please benefit society. So, see the difference in mood? So amazing, right? The difference in mood. This is the Vedic representation that when you are blessed with a long life, right? So someone who is young, someone who may be, 16, 17, young, they are blessed with a long life, right? I'm 42. So I have hit my, I've gone, not even hit, I've gone post my middle mark. I've gone way post my middle mark. So, I am, heading in my way to play chess with Yamaraj, right? I'm on my way there, Ted and Bill. Right. So the idea here, the idea here is that I may have passed my point. So what am I doing with my life? But someone who's 16, they are youthful. So what are you doing with your life? So here it is explained that you have long duration of life. Use it. Use it. For most of us, right? For most of us, we'll be thinking in my youthful age, I will build an app. I will make an empire. I will, take over the world with my app, right? No, you have your youth. Don't waste it away in building the app. Here it is saying that please use it for the benefit of society. This is when knowledgeable people come together, right? This is when knowledgeable people come together. This is their ask, that you have good life. Please use it. Please benefit everyone, right? So this is Ayushmana. Then it is Bhavat Yad Vinishchitam, the next line. Right, that it says here is Bhavat Yat Vinishchitam. So it is saying that please you have the ability to understand, and you now please ascertain and speak nicely. So it is the idea here is that the sages are asking Suta Goswami, you please distill this knowledge and you give us the correct thing. Vinishchitam. You give us that juice. So, now, of course, they have stopped it. But when, our premier, NSW premier was doing the 11 o'clock lockdown news, how many of us would be waiting? Yes. What's the juice for today? How many people got COVID? It's amazing, isn't it, that we got hooked onto that? Isn't it amazing how we got hooked onto that? We just got hooked. Because what we want is we want all the noise to be distilled. Tell me the end conclusion. Okay, 1,000 people got, 4 people died. Their ages are this and this. I'm not in that age group. So this is how we are taking that juice, right? We don't want all the information that in this hospital, these many people, in this hospital, tell me the juice. So this is what Twitter is, right? In Twitter, why is it that you will see so many people fighting? Because they are looking at somebody's Vinishchitam. They're looking at what someone has ascertained and saying, I don't agree. I don't agree with this ascertained. Right? But here the sages are asking Suta Goswami that you please conclude. Give us the, please ascertain what is good. right? So this is handing over, the baton of knowledge. Like there is so much knowledge. Please take out the juice and give it to us. So this becomes the most essential question. This is the very first question that the rishis. So there are 6 questions that are asked, right, by the sages. And Bhagavatam's main theme will be will revolve around these 6 questions. Right? The main themes will revolve around the 6 questions. Right? So these 6 questions, this is the very first question that is asked. He says, can you, with Vinishchitam, can you please ascertain, right? Tell us, after you have heard all the knowledge, please tell us what is the ultimate good. Pumsam ekantata shreyas. Pumsam ekantaha shreyas. He says, tell us who is the topmost. So this is very nice, right? Pumsam ekantaha shreyas. Like Pumsam, he's saying for general people, ekanta, absolute shreyas, the ultimate. Right? Now, something, right? This is very easy to understand that for all of us, if you were in government or if you are trying to do, some altruistic work, you're always thinking, what is the best I can do for someone? But here is something very different for you all, right? Our acharyas also explain there is another meaning for pumsa. Ete chamsa kala pumsa. He says that pumsa is the purusha avatar. Right? Ete chamsa kala pumsa krishnastu bhagavan swayam. Right? Paribhasha sutra. This is called the Paribhasha sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this pumsam ekanta shreyas, actually, if you look at it, is talking about of everyone who is the greatest. It's Krishna. Right? So the question is being asked, of everyone who is the great, pumsam ekantaha shreyas. Right? So the direct, the first question is, please tell us what is good for everyone. But as devotees, when we look at this, we are saying, oh, of all the personalities, who is the greatest personality? And so Srila Prabhupada writes, Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, SPOG, SPOG, the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna is that, the SPOG, right? So this is something for us, right? So when we look at this, but here, of course, we see Srila Prabhupada, he's saying that Pumsam ekantaha shreyas is what is the ultimate good for people in general, for all the personalities. We are all people, right? You, me, and all the people here on WhatsApp and sorry, not WhatsApp, I apologize, on Zoom, and everyone else on WhatsApp or on the streets or exercising, they are all people. Krishna tells Arjuna very nicely in Bhagavad Gita, Natve vaham jatunasham natvam neme janadipa. He says, my dear Arjuna, never was there a time when I did not exist. Natve vaham jatunasham natvam neme janadipa. Nor all these kings. And of course, when Krishna is talking about all the kings, he's saying in the battlefield, all these kings. But all of us, we are also here because we want to be kings. Okay, we have this, we want to be gods. Each and every one of us. Right? So Krishna is saying, yes, of all of these wonderful personalities, of all, who is the topmost? Krishna is the top. What is the ultimate good? Krishna is the ultimate. So this is a beautiful question that is being asked. Tatna samshitum arhasi. He says that, please explain that what we deserve. Now, this is amazing, isn't it? So first he's saying, can you ascertain? And after ascertain, tell us what we deserve. Right? Not that you give us all the knowledge. Imagine, many people, they're having conversation, is vaccination safe, if vaccination not safe, and everyone has their opinion. And everyone's opinion is valid because everyone has an opinion and their opinion has value. This is one important thing, right? We have to understand everyone's opinion has value, right? For themselves, right? Like I have my opinion, my morals, you have your opinion, your moral. The idea here is that how many of us have actually gone in and tried to figure out, okay, let us understand this. Let us understand this in detail. No, we don't. None of us go through it. In fact, what we do is we look up to the doctors and we say, you give us what we deserve. So, okay, I need to take the vaccine, I'll take the vaccine. Or I don't have to take it, I will not take it. You see, we are trying to leave it. We are trying to leave it to say, because there is so much information, There is no way for one individual person to distill it. So we are saying, okay, whoever is the expert, can you please distill and give us, right? So the inherent quality that is being discussed in this shloka is trust. It's an inherent quality. There is trust required with people that have knowledge. And how is that trust built? This is the important thing. How is trust built? Trust is built by not having money involved. No economy should be involved. Then trust is built, right? So these sages, where are they sitting? They're sitting in a forest. They're not sitting in the parliament. It is interesting, isn't it? The parliament, the entire economy is locked down, but all the MPs are getting their salaries. The entire economy is locked down. People are not getting their money, but all the prime minister, the MPs, all the bureaucrats, everyone is getting their salary. The government is getting fully paid. They're getting their money. And so then what happens is the general populace is not trusting. They're like, no, we don't trust you. So there is that lack of trust. But here, when you say tannaha samshitum arhasi, it is explained that no, there is inherent trust. Why? Because Suta Goswami, he's not here to make money. He's not sitting in the forest to make money. We are in the forest, boys. We're going to make some money. We're going to make some berries. I'm going to have 20 berries and you're going to have 10 berries. No, they're sitting in the forest. Good boy. They're sitting in the forest and they're sitting there saying that no, what is actually beneficial for society? So this creates trust. Please understand what creates trust. Okay? When the global financial crisis happened, people were saying there were so many economists, right? We have schools of economy. How come nobody saw this? How come nobody, as a simple economist said, hey, looking at what we are doing, we are going to destroy the economy, right? Because everyone was getting paid. If you have a class of people that are getting paid, then they fall from the Brahminical quality and they become either administrators, Kshatriyas, or Vaishyas, become businessmen. Right? And this is what you will notice in today's society, right? Everything is economically based. The doctor who's telling you to take vaccine, his economy depends on it. Right? His economy depends on it. The pharmacy who's telling you to take vaccine, his economy depends on it. So people are not trusting. Now, I'm sure most of you have taken the vaccine. Nonetheless, you don't trust. You see, it's not the thing that you have taken vaccine, I trust. No, you have taken vaccine, but even you don't trust. You see, it is sometimes we are thinking, no, it's the anti-vaxxers that don't trust. No, even the ones who have got vaxxed don't trust. This is the point. And the idea is the reason why this is the case is because if a society is built on economy, on artha, but not on dharma, right? If the society is built on that, there is no question of there being trust. Zero question of there being trust. So that is why today there is no trust. But here, when we are looking at Srimad Bhagavatam, there is great trust. Why? The main discourse of Srimad Bhagavatam is between Sukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. And both are naked. Right? Both of them are naked. Okay, two naked people are discussing Bhagavatam. You cannot get any more trustworthy than that. Why? They have nothing. They are not even wearing clothes. They're just sitting there and saying, okay, what should we do? This is to be understood. When we are sitting here and saying how trust should be built, this is how trust. When a naked man comes in front of you and says, I have seen the whole information, I've looked at everything, and yes, you should. That day people will trust. Of course, I'm not encouraging any doctor to go naked and say take the vaccine. That is not the attempt. Do you know, interesting enough, when PETA fights against animal cruelty, one of their strategies is to go naked. Right? And you'll notice that this is actually an interesting strategy. It does tend to work. Right? But why am I saying this is that in the original Srimad Bhagavatam, this principle is taken. When you're completely naked, bereft of the material manifestations, now you can discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. Now you can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. This understanding we must have. Right? And so this trust that we are discussing in this shloka, this trust, this is very great. It's not easy to get. This trust is not easy to find. You will notice that many times people will say, oh, I have this religious book. Okay, how was this religious book discussed? Okay, everybody was sitting and saying, oh, I'm going to fight this, I'm going to fight that. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, nobody's discussing in a fighting state, right? In Srimad Bhagavatam, they're saying, okay, you are about to die and I have nothing better to do, right? In fact, this is the only thing I do. Sukadeva Goswami, this was the only thing he did. So he says, let us sit down and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is interesting for us to understand, right? Why this tan naha samshitum arhasi is important. This trust is very important. Okay, so this is question 1, which says, what is the absolute good? And of course, we hear the beautiful response, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. Yes, very good. Yes. And so he says that great, we must devote ourselves to Lord Vasudev. And he's saying that the greatest occupation, right? What is that shloka? Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti adhokshaja. So that greatest dharma, that greatest principle is worship to adhokshaja, worship to Lord Krishna. So anyway, this is the question. So now the questions are being laid out. So first, please make it easy. Okay, first, please make it easy. Second, Ayushmana, you are blessed with great life, right? Then Vinishchitam, you please take all this knowledge and you ascertain. Okay, and then Samshitum Arhasi, and you give me what I deserve, this trust. And then of course we talked about the Pumsam Ekantaka, Pumsam Ekantaha Shreyas, that for people in general, what is that ultimate good? But then as devotees, we also have that lens to say, oh yes, of all the personalities, who is the greatest, right? So we also have that lens. So yeah, this is verse number 9. Now I'll just check with Shri Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, do I go to the next verse or how do we do it? You want me to go to the next one?
Yeah. 9 and 10 both. Yeah.
All right. So now we'll do text number 10. All right. So this is the next verse. So text number 10. I think it is loaded now. Yes. Praye nalpa yusha sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya yupadruta Prayenalpayusha sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hyupadruta Prayenalpayusha sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana Manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadruta. Any Vaishnava wants to sing?
Prayena alpayusha sabhyakala vasmin yuge jana banda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadruta.
Any other Vaishnava would like to sing? Someone wants to give it a hit, give it a shot? No? Okay. We'll go for word. Prayena, almost always, alpa, meager, ayushaha, duration of life, sabhya, member of a learned society, kalau, in this age of Kali, quarrel, asmin, herein, yuge, age, jana, the public, manda, lazy, sumanda mataya, misguided, manda bhagya, unlucky, he, and above all, upadhruta, disturbed. Translation proposed by His Divine Grace, Abhay Chandarvin, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men almost always have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. Hey, somebody talking about me? Purport. The devotees of the Lord are always anxious for the spiritual improvement of the general public. When the sages of Naimisharanya analyzed the state of affairs of the people in this age of Kali, they foresaw that men would live short lives. In Kali Yuga, the duration of life is shortened not so much because of insufficient food, but because of irregular habits. By keeping regular habits and eating simple food, any man can maintain his health. Overeating, over sense gratification, over dependence on another's mercy, and artificial standards of living sap the very vitality of human energy. Therefore, the duration of life is shortened. Oh, man. Okay. The people of this age are also very lazy, not only materially, but in the matter of self-realization. The human life is especially meant for self-realization. That is to say, man should come to know what he is, what the world is, and what the supreme truth is. Human life is the means by which the living entity can end all the miseries of the hard struggle for life in material existence, and by which he can return to Godhead, his eternal home. But due to a bad system of education, men have no desire for self-realization. Even if they come to know about it, they unfortunately become victims of misguided teachers. In this age, men are victims not only to different political creeds and parties, but also to a different type of sense gratification diversions, such as cinemas, sports, gambling, clubs, mundane libraries, bad association, smoking, drinking, cheating, pilfering, bickerings, and so on. Oh God, when we think of enjoyment, I'm sure you have found something here. When you're thinking of my next vacation, I'm sure there is something here you can put a tick on. Their minds are always disturbed and full of anxieties due to so many different engagements. In this age, many unscrupulous men manufacture their own religious faiths, which are not based on any revealed scriptures. And very often, people who are addicted to sense gratification are attracted by such institutions. Consequently, in the name of religion, so many sinful acts are being carried on, that the people in general have neither peace of mind nor health of body. The student brahmachari communities are no longer being maintained, and the householders do not observe the rules of regulation of the grihastha ashram. Consequently, the so-called vanaprastha and sannyasis who come out of such grihastha ashrams are easily deviated from the rigid path. In the Kali Yuga, the whole atmosphere is surcharged with faithlessness. Men are no longer interested in spiritual values. Material sense gratification is now the standard of civilization. For the maintenance of such material civilization, man has formed complex nations and communities, and there is a constant strain of hot and cold wars between these different groups. It has become very difficult, therefore, to raise the spiritual standard due to the present distorted values of human society. The sages of Naimisharanya are anxious to disentangle all fallen souls and here they are seeking the remedy from Srila Suta Goswami. Jai. In the last part, it's so nicely explained how the wars of this world, right? Afghanistan, Yemen, Middle East, Africa, Central America, right? India, China, how the wars are going on, right? Because you have to maintain this civilization. Try to understand. We are thinking, let there be peace. No. With the current civilization, the only way it can be maintained is by war. I don't know if you can catch what Srila Prabhupada is saying here. You can catch what is being said here. Right? The society that we are living in, we are thinking we will have United Nations, right? And in United Nations, we will have peace. Srila Prabhupada said, ever since United Nations has come, more flags have been formed. You know that? When United Nations first formed, it had, let's say, 100 flags. Now it has 160, 120, 180, 200. More nations are getting built. You were supposed to unite the nations. More are being built. What's going on? What is going on? You are supposed to unite, right? How come more flags are coming up? Because it is not uniting. If our desire is that with this current society, wars can end, that is not possible. That is not possible. And so reason why I point this out is that sometimes we may become very vigorous and we may think, okay, there is a political solution to this problem. Through politics, through the various social construct, with education, we can, what do you do? We can, stop this, warring societies. No, it is not possible. Sorry. Because the society, the way it's currently constructed, to maintain it, you need wars. See, this is the point. You want to maintain the current society, you need wars. The only way this can be fixed is by changing the consciousness of the person. Once the consciousness of the person is changed, society will automatically get fixed. And this is important because most of us, when we are thinking of fixing society, we are thinking from an administrative sense, from a business sense, and from a working sense. So we are always thinking from this, in a sense of a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, and a Shudra. But actually, Srila Prabhupada's point here is, if you want to fix society, you have to first think of the Brahman. You have to think how I can change my own sense. So the head is considered the Brahmana, the hands are considered the Kshatriya, the belly is considered the Vaishya, and the legs are considered the Shudra. Right? So the head is thinking, the hand is doing, the belly is consuming. Okay, it is the engine of the body. The food must go to the belly, then brain will work, heart will pump, everything will work. Right? Food must go. So this is the Vaishya, and the legs, because it is doing the hard work of taking you from one place to the next, it is the Shudra. And it is explained that today, if you practically see any discussion about how to fix society, and what I'm telling you is from every stance, right? So you have great moralists like Sam Harris, who've written so many books, right, about how to fix society, right? He's a great moralist, right? Great, psychologist. Whenever you're looking at them talking about how to fix society, they're talking about the Kshatriya, you got to administer your life better. The Vaishya, you need to make sure that you have enough money coming through, and the Shudra, and you need to look at how you are, working towards this. And you will see this practically from any book that talks about morality. I'm talking about, people who are from an atheistic view, Sam Harris, people from a theistic view, Jordan Peterson, like he's coming from a theistic view, right? Jordan Peterson. Sam Harris is coming from an atheistic view, right? So you have, different, these are modern cultural professors, right? Both of them, with whatever they are presenting, will not solve the problems of this material world. Why? Because they are all dealing in the Kshatriya, in the Vaishya, in the Shudra. They're always dealing in these three, and it will never function. You have to deal in the Brahmana, right? And only Bhagavatam deals in the Brahmana. When I say only Bhagavatam, means in the Vedas generally deal in the Brahmana. The Vedas generally deal, even the atheistic schools of thought in the Vedic representation, right? Can you imagine in the Vedas you have the atheistic schools? Veda is supposed to be spiritual, right? It has atheistic schools there. That even in those atheistic schools, they all first deal with the Brahman, then they deal with the Kshatriya, Vaishya, and the Shudra. So this is something important, right? Interesting point. Now back to the shloka. Now we'll roll back up. Sorry, it's just that when I saw this point, this point came in my head, so I thought, okay, I should mention this. So now we go up. So prayena alpayusha sabhya, right? So it is saying that these people, the pumsa, right? Remember the pumsas in the previous shloka? These pumsas, they have a short life, right? Now, just like Ayushmana in the previous was talking about, my dear Suta Goswami, you have a great life because you are always doing benefit for everybody. Here, why do you have short life? Because you are not benefiting society. I am not benefiting society. We are not benefiting society. So we have short lives. So try to understand why we have short life. Now, of course, we may say that, okay, there were many people who try to benefit society. They have short lives. Yes, because you're looking at age. We are looking at how much they have impacted. Like, I don't know, some of you may have heard of Jordan Peterson. He's like a psychological a psychologist. Like, I mean, not a psychologist per se, but he does social study. Maybe that's a better way to present it. He does social study, and he comes from a theistic view. His view is theistic, right? So he comes from a Christian background. So he comes from a theistic view and observes it. And he's a scientist. So he has good qualities. So the point is that he has good qualities, right? He has a theistic view and he's trying to observe the social science, right? And you will notice that he's only become famous in the last, what I could say, maybe 5 years or maybe 4 years, like, recently. What I mean to say is recent. Now, one may say that, oh, before nobody knew him. Yeah, that's fine. But he is benefiting people. He's giving some benefit to people. So now everybody knows him. Are you getting? And the reason why I'm giving you this example is this is a modern example of someone who is, who's trying to help others. Trying, I use keyword here, who's trying, and he is becoming famous. So, when you read about him, it feels like he's been there forever. When you read about him, it feels like this man has been here forever. No, people have only known him for 4 or 5 years, right? So this is what it means about Ayushmana versus here, Alpa Ayush. So the difference, right? Ayushmana means one who's living a grandiose life, a long life. And here, Alpa Ayusha. Now, how many of you are you'll see many people are influencers in TikTok, in Instagram, many influencers, but they are all Alpa Ayusha. Alpa Ayusha means they have a short life. So this is something for us to distinguish, between the two shlokas. Here we are talking about short life because they are not benefiting society. So this is very interesting how the sages are observing people's life, right? How their vision is of looking at someone and saying, oh, this is a great personality. He has long life. This person has short life, right? And it may be that person who has a short life may live for 100 years. Doesn't matter. You have a short life. Doesn't matter. In physical years, you may be 100, but you have a short life. Somebody may have lived only for 40, 50 years, but he has done so much benefit. He has a long life. He is Ayushman. So I hope you're understanding how this works, right? So this is Alpa Ayusha, right? And then Kalavasmin Yuge Jana, right? He says that this age is an age of quarrel. And isn't it so amazing? You go to Twitter, people are fighting. You go to Facebook, people are fighting. Someone puts a photograph, right? Somebody puts a photograph. It is very nice. This is a very funny story, right? There was a footballer, like he was trying to get out of a contract. So in the football world, the sports personalities have contracts with the clubs. So he was trying to get out of the contract. Okay, and then somehow he finally managed to get out of the contract. So then in his Twitter, he put a picture. And the picture was of, a very famous picture of 2 hands, okay, with cups. And the cups are broken. So when he put that picture, he was saying, finally freed from contract. Okay, so this sports personality, I'm forgetting whether I think he was either a footballer or a wrestler. I don't remember, to be honest. Okay, I can't remember. Now, this happened several weeks ago, but I was laughing when I saw this news. So he took this picture, okay, and now he's trying to signify what has happened to him, right? He has gotten free from a contract. He's very happy. Now the justice police came, the social justice police in Twitter came, and they started telling him that this is a sign of slavery. Are you equating your contract break to slavery? Have you no sense of morality? And they hammered the daylights out of this guy. Okay. And then this guy's like, oh, and then he deletes the picture and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Now, when I was reading this, I was laughing. I was like, just see this, right? Just see the age of quarrel. The Kalau Asmin Yuge Jana. The age of quarrel. Nobody is trying to understand the context. Okay, the guy is saying, okay, he was in a contract, he freed from his contract. So he just took a picture showing shackles broken. But now these guys are like, oh, so you're equating this to slavery. Oh, this, you are a useless person. You don't understand racism. Maybe you're a racist. He's completely off the track. So I was laughing and laughing as I was reading the comments. I was thinking, this is Kalau Asmin Yuge Jana. This is the age of quarrel. That no one is sympathetic to listen to someone because there is no trust. You remember in the previous verse we talked about that inane, inbuilt trust, because there is no Brahmanical quality. Trust comes through Brahmanical quality. Like someone looks at, Elon Musk, right? And you're thinking, okay, this guy can do something. Have you seen his lifestyle? Guy sleeps only 6 hours a day. And he was telling 6 hours is about good enough for me. He gets up at around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. See, can you see the Brahmanical? Can you see the Brahmanical qualities? It's Brahmanical. And this is true for, most of the actors, most of the people who are rich. Most of the guys who are billionaires realize that if they wake up in the morning, it works nicely for them. Most of the guys who are rich, famous, they kind of figured this out. Even they were showing about this guy. What's his name? The Beckhams. I forgot his name. The football player, the Beckham. The Beckhams are considered, Victoria Beckham and her husband. I forgot his name. But he explained that this is a guy. Okay, he used to be a famous football player. Now they are celebrities, right? So even the guy, he wakes up 5 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because he has to get his facial done, get his hair done. So wakes 5 o'clock in the morning. Why? So that's how he can get all his beauty routine done. Otherwise, how is it possible? You see? So Brahmanical quality. So the idea here is that if there is Brahmanical quality, there will be trust. Trust gets built because of these Brahmanical qualities. So that is why Srila Prabhupada would say that one should develop Brahmanical quality. That's the reason. That's the reason it should be developed. So, Kalav Asmin Yuge Jana is age of quarrel. Manda Sumanda Matayo. I'm sorry, that's next. We'll do this one first. Manda Sumanda Matayo. Manda meaning lazy. Just lazy. Just to explain to you, right? You're all seeing me so nicely dressed, wearing jacket and kurta. But below I am wearing shorts. Lazy. Mandaha. Just I want to explain this to you. Mandaha. How many of you are, in your lockdown, working from home, immediately, I wear a jacket up. Okay. Top, you're devotee. The top, you're an office person. Bottom, worthless. So this is important to understand. When we are saying Mandaha, this is not being said in some jestful way or no, this is real. This is truthful. Mandaha. Lazy, right? We are all lazy, right? You can see laziness now, right? Previously you didn't have mobile phone, so you had to make the effort of going to your friend's house, or you had to make the effort of going somewhere to meet a human being. Now you don't need to make that effort. Recently I was hearing people are having Zoom birthday parties. Right. And when I say Zoom birthday parties, I'm not just talking, now because of lockdown, even this trend had started, online birthday parties. People are like, why do you have to go to your house? Then you have to clean your house, right? If you call people to your house, you have to clean it. Just do it online. Mandaha. We are lazy. In this age, all of us have this quality of being lazy. Sometimes you may be thinking, I want to read Bhagavatam. Why am I not reading it? Mandaha. That's why we are manda, right? So this quality of laziness is there. Sumanda matayo. We are misguided, right? I was giving a talk in one place. There were these school kids who had come from the scouts. So I was talking to them about this misguidedness, this contradiction. And I was telling them this example, right? At that time, elections were going on in United States. So there are two parties in the United States, right? There's a Republican Party, and then there is a Democrat Party, right? One is a donkey and one is an elephant. That's all I remember from science. I don't know who's who, but there is a red party and a blue party. Republicans are red, that I remember, and the Democrats are blue. Now, I was listening to their representation, like what they were presenting. So if you guys sit back and listen, you'll die laughing, okay? The Republicans were saying, we must have hard borders. We must stop immigration. This movement of people, this immigration, we must stop. We must have hard borders in United States. Yes. Okay, so this is their point. Now the Democrats, they were, blue party. They're like, no, we must have open borders. We were built on immigration. Let people move. Let people come in. Okay. You saw the other side? So they were against the blue party, they were against. Now, this is first point. Now, the second point in their agenda, the Republicans are saying, why is there all this lockdown happening? Why is there so much lockdown happening? People should be allowed to move freely. So their first point was, we must have hard borders. Why? We should not have people should not just move into United States. But their second point is, why there is lockdown inside United States? People should be allowed to move. The Democrats, their first point was, there should be no borders. People should be allowed to come in. And the second point is, we must have lockdown so that, this disease doesn't spread. Can you see? Look, I was looking at it, I was laughing. I was like, I don't know if both of these people are understanding what they are saying. Sumanda Mataya, misguided. But then they're saying the point. No. I meant, when I was saying locking, I was locking for others. But we should not be locked. They're like, okay. Democrats, no. We should be open for others. But internally, we should be locked. So, Sumanda Mataya. And you will notice this practically. You will notice this in any political party. In any, right? You will notice this amazing contradiction, this misguidedness. One point they're saying something, another point they'll say something else. Another point they're saying something, another point. And they will all, when you lay them down, you're like, what are you talking about? What is your point? Sumanda Mataya, misguided. Right? Then Manda Bhagya, unlucky. Now, many times we feel unlucky. And then we open the news and we say one person won $80 million. One guy, right? I don't know how many of you read that some months ago. He lost his job and he won the $80 million Thursday Powerball jackpot. And I was thinking, maybe there is hope. Maybe. I mean, okay, Bhagavatam says Manda Bhagya, means there is unlucky. But maybe there is Bhagya. Maybe there is not. Maybe. Just maybe, right? Nowadays, I don't know how many of you are seeing the weather forecast. Are you seeing Monday sun, Tuesday sun, Wednesday little rain, Thursday sun. You're beginning to see the sun. You're thinking, huh? What do you mean unlucky? I am. This is the lucky country. Isn't Australia the lucky country? Isn't it? It's in our anthem. We are the lucky country, right? Aren't we the lucky ones? No, aren't we the Bhagya? No. Material world, Manda Bhagya. So even if you have the greatest position, please understand why we are unlucky. You know what we are thinking? That once I get money, I will become lucky. No. You have to be lucky when you don't have money. Then when you have money, your luck will prosper. Are you understanding how it works? You must be lucky when you don't have money. Then when you get money, you will stay lucky. Otherwise, you were unlucky, you will get money, you will stay unlucky. Manda Bhagya. Right? So this we have to understand. Now, why are you unlucky? So we concluded all of this, right? He, above all, disturbed. Right? Upabhuta. Above all of this conversation is we are disturbed. Why are we disturbed? Because we are a spiritual being in a material situation. We will always be disturbed. We are in a contradictory state, in such a contradictory state that we cannot function. We just cannot function. Everyone here wants to live forever. Even the ones who are against vaccination will eventually get vaxxed because they want to live forever. Not because they are with science. I just want to be very clear, right? And like I said, even the ones who are vaxxed, I have no understanding and I do not trust I might have got the vaccination, but I do not trust the science. I just don't trust it. But I got why? Because I'm disturbed. I want to live. I want to live. Right? I'm disturbed. So where is this principle of I want to live coming from? This is the quality of the soul. Like this sat is the quality of the soul. And so we have a quality of eternality, but we are living in a body that is not eternal, right? Which is, ashashvata, which is temporary. So you are an eternal person living in a temporary situation. you will always be disturbed. Like, if you just think of a nuclear bomb, why are people worried about a nuclear bomb? Because the element is unstable. Uranium is unstable. It just needs one electron to go here and there, and it will blow up like anything. It is disturbed. It is unstable. This we have to understand, right? This upadhruta. Srila Prabhupada, such amazing purport. Like, when you read, you just die laughing. But I will read it again because this line is so amazing. Overeating, over sense gratification, over dependence on another's mercy. Okay? Overeating, right? That is consumerism. Tell me one socio-political, socio-educational, political situation where we are not looking to enhance consumerism. Even China, the greatest communist, consumerism, overeating. Okay? Even those who are, agrarian societies, they're like, we will produce more. We will produce more. We will GMO. We will GMO all the, all the food stuff. We will produce more. Isn't it amazing now that they are producing fruits with no seeds? What type of fruit are you if you have no seed? How are you a fruit if you have no seed? Just think for a minute. If you cannot create your own, reproduction, how will you reproduce in my body? How will you fix my body? You as an individual fruit cannot reproduce yourself. You are going to help me? You are going to help me. It's not possible. So overeating, over sense gratification. Now tell me one, socio, educational, political. So my son has his online school, right? Online school. Every day they are telling the kids, today we're going to have a party. The teachers, because they want to keep the kids in, today we will have a party. Sense gratification. Today we will have a party today. Today is Wacky Wednesday. It's, what is it? What do you call, I don't know. I don't remember. He had like different names. So why sense gratification? There must be sense gratification. Has to be. And not just little, over. Srila Prabhupada is using the words very, choicely. Over. Not just enough, over. Over dependence on another's mercy. How many here believe the government should change? Why? Because we depend. We should change the government. Why? I depend. My boss should give me better rating, right? Year end has just finished, right? So the KPIs were being reviewed, right? Everyone's performances in their offices are being reviewed. My boss, he should recognize me. Over dependence on another's mercy, right? And artificial standard of living. This artificial standard of living. How many here can say I'm living a genuine life? I'm sitting here in Zoom and I have a virtual background. Like, just try to understand. I am coming to you virtually, and on top of that, I have a virtual background. Please understand the artificial standard of living. Please appreciate it. Okay? Sap the very vitality of human energy. Srila Prabhupada's words, just smash you, right? It is sapping the vitality of human energy. Therefore, the duration of life is short. This is amazing stuff, right? Sometimes when you read. So yes, it's 9:27. So yeah, if devotees want to share something, they are free to share something they want, their realization. Because remember, we are all sages in Naimisharanya. Even though we are thinking, but I didn't take shower, I didn't brush my teeth, no problem. You are all sages in Naimisharanya. So you all have realizations that you can share and contribute. So please go ahead.
It's a wonderful class, Prabhu. You have given such a good analogies of the today's world in context of these two verses. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Amazing class. Yeah. Anyone else? Gaurav Prabhu joined from Melbourne, knowing that you are going to give the class today. So he attempted to attend today.
Oh, Jai. Hey, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. After
Oh.
many years, thanks to Shubha Krishna Prabhu.
He's Vaishnav Thakur, Gaurav Prabhu. He's a Sanskrit scholar. He
Please.
can take, like I was explaining lines of shloka. Gaurav Prabhu can take every syllable and explain.
You're very generous, a true Brahmana. Thank you.
I'm so fortunate being associated with Gaurav Prabhu.
He's a Sanskrit scholar. Some of you may get some time. You can listen to what he says. He's a very nice Sanskrit scholar. I mean, when I say Sanskrit scholar, means not in a academic sense, in a devotional sense, right? From a devotional sense, he's a Sanskrit scholar. Yes? The devotees would like to share something from their own realizations, because you all have realization. You all are living on this planet and you are observing. And how do you observe? With this, you click on the button and you start observing the world. So you can see this shloka in your physical life. What is being explained?
Correct.
All right, then I'll hand it back to Shubh Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. And next week we'll have another speaker, and we would request Vrajanath Prabhu to give his time again whenever possible, and we'll invite you for the class. It was a wonderful class today, and we had a wonderful time listening to your realization, your side, and you threw very good realizations on today.
Wonderful. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Let's
So energetic, so wonderful. Yeah, really energetic. I love it.
All right, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Vanchakalptarubhyascha kripna sindhubhya eva cha patitanam
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Guru Srila Prabhupada
Ki Jai.
Guru Premanande Hari.
Hari Hari.
Thank you.